What is up, you guys? My name is Dino and I want to welcome you all back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit more of a tips and tricks video where I explain how to get more kills in Call of Duty World War II. But before we get started, I just wanted to say that I hope you're all having a wonderful day and I hope your crush finally decided to suck your toes. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know when your boy uploads. Let's try and aim for something crazy like 1 like. Alright guys, let's get into the video. So there are 3 main strategies that I use that have helped improve the amount of kills that I get in Call of Duty World War II. They are not in any particular order and none are better than the other, and I'll be going into more depth as I go along. These strategies include 1. Not sprinting so much, 2. Aim better, and 3. Watch and guard one lane. So obviously we are back to boots on the ground and not running around and jumping off buildings, so we kind of have to slow down the way that we play. I noticed that when I first started playing boots on the ground again, I would constantly die because I would get caught in my sprints. Enemy players would just be standing on a head glitch or around a corner and all they would have to do was aim down sights and shoot. Meanwhile, I had to stop sprinting, aim down sights, and then shoot. But by that time the enemy player would already have a 2-shot advantage over me, and 98% of the time I'm going to lose that gunfight, and so will you. Also, I'm not going to lie, I'm somewhat of a jetpacker because in those advanced movement Call of Duties, I would always just jetpack up or to the sides to get out of trouble, but I can't do that anymore. So what I did to adjust a little bit was sprint for very short periods, no more than 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds I would say, guys. Then after those 2 or so seconds, I would check my corners or pre-aim a doorway, and if I didn't see anything, I would sprint a couple more seconds and repeat. With boots on the ground, you want to use sprinting as a way to get into cover or just for those few second bursts that I mentioned earlier. Now for the aiming portion. Obviously, to be good at a first person shooter, your aim and shot needs to be accurate. I have a few tips that can help improve your aim. Go into your settings, go over to control, and turn off controller vibration. I found that this improved my aim quite a bit because when the controller vibrated, it will throw me off enough to mess up my aim. Another tip is lowering your sensitivity. This one is a little bit more subjective and it depends on how the way you play because we each have the sensitivity that we play on, but I strongly recommend that you lower your sensitivity and start with 5 horizontal and 5 vertical. If you think this is way too slow, then give the horizontal sensitivity a little bump up to 6. I would say to leave your vertical no higher than 6. Play a couple games with each sensitivity to find one that fits you and allows you to snap onto targets better. And also guys, another little tip that I recommend using for improving your aim is instead of using the right analog stick for your main way of aiming at the opponent, once you finally aim at the opponent with the right analog stick, leave that one alone, but still keep your thumb on it obviously, and then use your left analog stick, and that one you kind of want to strafe left and right depending on wherever they go, and that way your gun reticle stays on them while your character's body is still moving around, so that way you can match their pace and then you both are shooting at each other, as opposed to once he moves to the left, he's still shooting at you, but you're shooting at the location where he was previously at. So the last strategy I have for you is watching one lane of the map. As we know, Call of Duty maps have 3 main lanes in each map with smaller side lanes in between each. This excludes Gustav Cannon since that map is just terrible and it's just an open shithole. Anyways, the way I play now that has allowed me to get a lot more kills and die less is by staying on one lane and watching the little doorways and smaller lanes in a big lane. I know that kind of doesn't make sense, but please just don't stand on a head glitch, as you will not get any kills after 2 or 3 because then the enemy will stop going through there. And an example of this is the map on it's the map USS Texas. I like to watch the middle lane and the side door leading where B-bomb would be at, like on search and destroy. This tactic of watching that one lane but still moving around that location will confuse your enemy. They may know you're in there, but they're not going to know what doorway you pop out of or what corner you're waiting for them at. Now let's say at some point people start going through the lane that you're watching, which is likely because they're going to get annoyed and frustrated that you're just destroying them. You can use the sprinting tactic that I mentioned earlier of sprinting in short 2-second burst until you get into another lane, but be ready to get into gunfights because more than likely you're gonna run into trouble on the way there. Alrighty guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I promise you that if you follow these tactics, you will see an improvement in the amount of kills you get in Call of Duty World War II. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and share with your friends, and as always, I hate you all.